Last speaker of this first morning session is Jordi Hernandez. Jordi is veterinarian, specialist in reptiles. He started to work with reptiles in Barcelona Zoo even before going to university, but he has also worked for pet shops and professional breeders and import-export companies, veterinary hospitals, etc. He's worked in several projects also regarding health status and management of wild species, both in Spain and Costa Rica. He started to work in Cosmo-Caixa in 2007 in the veterinary and maintenance area, and he joined Blue Displays in May 2009, this year, when he became general supervisor of the tropical flooded forest exhibit. Is the one he's going to talk about now. He's going to talk about how they achieve certain ecological balance in this exhibit, where plants, birds, reptiles, fish, and even some mammals live together. Thank you, Jordi.
Good morning, everybody. I'm representing Blue Displays today. We are, as we know, a company working with the design, construction, and we also managing the Sea Museum of Vigo, the Science Museum in Barcelona, and the Public Aquarium in Almuñécar. What I'd like to do today is a brief introduction of to the Amazonian flooded forest set since 2004 at Cosmo-Caixa. We have a representation of a typical flooded forest which exhibits different animal groups as well as Amazonian plants and trees. And the exhibit, as you can see in the image, covers terrestrial, aquatic and aerial parts, displaying from insects, the leaf cutter ants, to one species of mammal, the capybara, including fishes, amphibians, and reptiles, and of course birds. We have 1,000 square meters of terrestrial exhibit, about 700 cubical meters of aquatic, and total height of the exhibit is about 18 meters. Of course, in an exhibit like that, observational tasks are essential for the welfare and an optimal husbandry practices. One of the things that make this exhibit unique is that almost all the animals share the same space for living. That's true for birds and also for fishes, but reptiles, amphibians, and capybara are restricted to specific areas using decoration and glass doors. Sharing the same space is very interesting for the observer, as he or she will be able to watch ethological aspects of the animals, but it actually supposes more cons than pros to the keepers. For example, as prey and predators live together, they share the same space. In these general views, you would see how natural elements, I mean plants and trees, are gaining ground over the artificial elements, and this has contributed to the realness of the view compared to the first years of the setting up of the exhibit. And plants grow well because the amount of light they receive, creating plenty of hiding places, being more important for the birds for hiding and not to be stressed. At the top of the glass ceiling, you see in the image of the right, there are about 30 light bulbs that help us in those darker hours of the day, and also on these cloudy days. There are sodium and mercury light bulbs who provide the ultraviolet for plants and also for animals. You could see also that there is a water line in the ceiling with the sprinklers that periodically pour water to the plants, contributing to maintaining the relative humidity over 80%. You can see the leafcutter ants. There's a picture of the fungus they are harvesting for the nutrition. They cut the leaves of different plant species, and they serve to get the fungus grown where they can feed. Reptiles are maybe the easiest animal group for us to keep, as we have an optimal temperature for rainforest reptiles of about 25 to 28 degrees, and there are also hot spots during the day that allow reptiles to warm up and remain active during the day hours. You can see Cayman here. He's restricted to his own aquatic part, sharing space with piranhas and also small parachaetodon, metinis, etc. It's a very shy animal, and it remains hiding during the day. This image, I mean, is on purpose. Visitors can observe Cayman as his resting place is very near to subaquatic window. So even though he's hidden, he's actually visible. He's a very friendly animal to work with and has never attacked neither a keeper or a partner of the exhibition, like aquatic turtles and fishes. Tortoises and also aquatic turtles are restricted to a specific area that keeps them safe and that allows us to control their health status and feeding. Tortoises and freshwater turtles are true masters of escapism, so checking their limits cage will avoid surprises. They can even harm themselves with the repetitive attempts to escape, and this is very common with the mata-mata turtle on summer and spring, where she is more active and she can have lesions in their limbs. They are very superficial and heal very well without using antibiotics. Birds are a difficult and delicate animal group to work with. They are difficult to control and to capture in the case needed because they can fly free through all of the enclosure. But fortunately for them, there is enough space and hiding places that allow them to escape and feel secure. There were many problems at the beginning with birds and the enormous glass panels, because plants were not as grown as now, and there was a very big dead space which offered no hiding spots for birds. Some caciques were lost due to trauma when hitting to glass panels, and those were later covered with big stickers simulating branches or vines, and crushing stopped. You can see every species has their own personality. Some are very shy, like crabs, the big photograph of the left, and there are species more brave between them, like Cochlearius or Sophia. They form a complex group in terms of feeding, as there are omnivorous and carnivorous species, and they are mixed. So there are places we can use to deliver food to certain species. I mean, like for example, fish dishes at the top of the forest for Cochlearius, because they are the only bird who can afford such high places. And we can use also dishes with food between the plants for Hernandez or with Sophia. Yeah, specific diets for each species cannot be accomplished, as birds are not restricted to cages, so everyone has access to all the food dishes distributed in the forest. You can see here Hernandez y Pecaja, because they are the more successful birds in meaning of reproduction. They were introduced in the forest as a couple, a male and female, and when we raised the protein level of their diet, they began to reproduce. We could modify their diet as they were extremely shy at the beginning and used to live in a specific area of the forest. Now you can see them walking over the entire area of the forest with their chicks and young birds. We lately have observed broken eggs and dead chicks, and maybe that's due to the high number of those birds right now, because older brothers used to attack younger ones when parents are not there to defend them. You can see capybara here. We have just one individual of this species, very friendly species to work with. The only disadvantage we have with this animal is that she defecates in the water, the same water as as for the fishes. And that's a problem with the breeze, etc. We have all the species sharing the same water parameters. You can see animals ranging from the small Parachaetodon to the huge Arapaima or Colosoma, weighing about more than 70 kilos for Arapaima and about 10 to 12 to 14 kilos to Colosoma. And there is a good representation also of benthonic animals like Ancistrus, Fractocephalus, or Pseudoplatystoma. The big ones of these fishes can be observed during the day, but the smaller loricarids used to be shy and remain hidden until lights go out. The animals of the same species used to aggregate like Colosoma, Mileus, Metinis, or Parachaetodon. Here you can see the two Arapaimas we have right now. Colosoma and Arapaima are aware of everything that eventually falls to the water and tend to swim fast towards anything that hits the water. Food, branches, the big flowers of the genus Aristolochia, and eventually some birds like the Amazonian ducks like Amazonetta, Dendrothigna, or even though some Cathicus. Big fishes are usually cleaned. You can see in with the photograph of the Colosoma some Anostomus. They used to clean these big fishes. You can see Pseudoplatystoma here, some Colosomas on the right. We have two ways to feed the animals. One would be hand feeding, and we use this technique for almost all reptiles except tortoises. Big fishes like Arapaima, Fractocephalus, or Osteoglossum are also hand fed, and to a lesser extent with some birds. This way of feeding allows the keepers to control exactly the diet given and also makes them aware of feeding or health problems. Keepers watch closely all the birds to detect early health or feeding problems, and they're trying to earn the birds' confidence to make easier their capturing the case needed, and also to deliver specific treatments. They can use the bird's favorite feeding element to accomplish that without stressing the animal. The other way would be the general feeding, involving the elaboration of complex diets that are distributed in dishes through the entire exhibit. This practice allows shy birds to feed correctly. General feeding is also used with smaller fish. And capybara's diet formed by whole pieces of vegetables and fruits, so they can be grasped by birds. Birds are fed twice a day in order to provide enough food for all of them. You can see a regular diet for the fishes. It's composed of several pieces of hake, trout, mackerel fish, and also chicken meat, ox heart, rabbit, vegetables, fruits, prawns, mussels, and squid. And we deliver from 5 to 8 or 9 kilos of mixed food in our regular feeding. They're fed 3 times a week. And once a month, we enrich every piece of meat with Mazuri complex. Also, as there is a mixed exhibit, you can observe some questions that maybe in a regular aquarium you cannot practice with. That we have observed Mileus and Metinis eating small grains like those used with birds. I mean, birds eat. They used to enjoy it and like it very much. And you can see also loricarids can be observed chewing natural submerged logs that provides them with essential fiber for their nutrition.
2 minutes left.
2 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay, I would like to talk in this time with about the reproduction facts. You can see here a list of species that are reproducing actually in the forest, but we also have a control of the reproduction in the case of the Dendrobates, because the rest of the species reproduce by themselves. We have no control of them, but with the tiny frogs, we can control very good their reproduction, as we put small petri dishes in their enclosure, which make them able to lay their clutches, and we can incubate those in a separate container, raising the tadpoles and the froglets in a more controlled way. It has to be said that at least one frog made the entire cycle in their own exhibit. Like some filtration, you can see sand filters and protein skimmers. Ozone and ultraviolet systems are used to maintain low numbers of microorganisms in the water. That is important as we have the capybara that defecates in the water, so we have to intensify water vacuum, siphoning debris in her area. You have a diagram of the filtration, and some images of a quarantine that is located beside the filtration area. We have several species here in acclimating to, in the future, introduce them in the forest, like Potamotrigon, some Osteoglossum, Osteoglossum, Astronotus, Infisodon, Potamotrigon are species very hard to acclimate to the tank, and while Colosoma, Fesobricon, or Emigramus have been very, very hardy species for us to work with. Okay. Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you. We still have time for questions. Any question? Okay, no questions this time. So, it's time for coffee break.